You said I've been waiting. I said, for who? Your eyes skip straight to future tense. Mine stay glued to this room. You mapped out our mornings. I was counting the times. You packed a bag in your voice. I just nodded and smiled. You said yes, but I never asked in the first place. You built a door in a wall I never meant to break. You heard vows in the silence where my doubts stayed. You said yes to a question I was too scared to say. You kept circling baby names. I kept circling words to leave. You called it meant to be. I called it hard to breathe. You rehearsed our anniversaries. I rehearsed my alibi. You wore the whole forever. I just tried it on for size. You said yes, but I never asked in the first place. You built the door in a wall I never meant to break. You heard vows in the silence where my doubts stayed. You said yes to a question I was too scared to say. Did I lead you on, or did you lead yourself? Were my half words a promise, or just you filling the shelves? Oh, if I whisper I'm not ready, will it tear your world in two? Or was it always made of glass, waiting for the truth? You said yes, but I never asked in the first place. You wrote our names in a space I never meant to take. You heard stay in the quiet where my doubts say. You say yes, and I'm finally saying what I couldn't say. I heard you say you're tired, like every color is drained away. Mornings feel like mountains. Even breathing feels like weight. I know that kind of quiet, where every thought cuts to the bone. But you are not your worst days. You're more than what your head has shown. You had so much to live for, more than you can see tonight. There are laughs you haven't laughed yet, hands you haven't held that tight. You have so much to live for, even if you can't believe. So when you feel like letting go, lean on me and stay and breathe. There's coffee with a stranger who more than you can see tonight. There are lives you haven't laughed yet, hands you haven't held that tight. Oh, you have so much to live for, even if you can't believe. So when you feel like letting go, lean on me and stay and breathe. Oh, you don't have to be the strongest. You just have to stay one more day. We can sit here in the silence till the dark gets bored and fades.
All right. I'm sorry, you guys. Welcome back to Legacy Liftoff. Hey, Miss Kathy, how you guys doing? Probably some people are probably over on our YouTube channel, but that's fine. That's fine. They'll come over. They'll come in. So I hope you are doing well tonight. You missed Wednesday night, Miss Kathy. Because we started the book, we started this book Wednesday night. Hold up, let's see. And I know with you working, you got tired. You were probably tired. This book right here. Remember, I told you our next, what's the name, was going to be Miscalculating Her Story, Black Women and Rewriting the History, Rewriting of the History. Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. And also the first Monday of every month, I sent everybody a copy of this. So they're able to go. But we can do it on here too. Remember, every first Monday of the month, we also have a class. And that's to get us rejuvenated and ready to move on to the rest of the month. So, and that's all right. That's fine. We look, we got it. Either way it goes, we got it. We're gonna get it. So, I guess I can go ahead. I was gonna wait. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You're good. Um, People will come in. They'll come in when they get a chance because they thought it was at 7 o'clock. On Wednesdays we're at 7 o'clock. On Saturdays it's 7:30. Give you 30 minutes, so I don't have to. You don't have to rush. Okay. So the first chapter, we already went over the first chapter, which is Introduction to Intersectionality. So we went over what intersectionality is. So basically, it serves as a critical framework for understanding the multifaceted experiences of Black women. That's we talk about sex, gender, race, and class in society. So that's basically what that was about. So we talked about the historical context of how we fit in our narrative on that one. We went over how society sees us and how we've been marginalized and how we've been, even all our accomplishments have been pushed to the side. It's on the sideline. It's not nothing important. And this is why this is important, going over this and understanding. So this is the new ebook. I haven't put it on my website yet because I wanted to go over it with you guys. So I'm getting ready to share the screen so you can see. Can you come in with that link? Can you come in on the screen? Let me know if you can come in on the screen. So I would love for you to be able to come in on the screen with me. Tell me yes or no if you can come in on the screen. Like, when you come in and we're talking to each other on here, can you do that, Miss Kathy? Let me know if she can come in. She probably can't. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, got you. Okay, all right. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and go here. Let me make sure you can see this. Well, it would be help if I share it, right? So let's share it. There we go. Okay, so we're on chapter 2 now, and What happened was last time everybody read a portion, but since you can't come in, that's fine. That's all right. No big deal. So we're on chapter 2, the foundations of Black womanhood, historical perspectives on Black women. Okay. So the historical narrative surrounding Black women has often been obscured, leading to significant miscalculations in understanding their pivotal roles throughout history. From the era of slavery to civil rights movements, Black women have been at the forefront of social change, yet their contributions are frequently downplayed in mainstream narratives. This subchapter seeks to illuminate the unique experiences of Black women and highlight the intersectionality that defines the historical journey. It is essential to consider how race, gender, socioeconomic status intersect to shape the lives of Black women, creating a complex tapestry that is often overlooked. So, in examining the lives of Black women throughout history, we see figures like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman, who not only fought for their own freedoms, but also advocated for the rights of others. Their stories serve as powerful reminders of the resilience and agency that Black women have exhibited in the face of oppression. However, their historical accounts are often stripped of the nuance that speaks to the intersectional challenges these women face, leading to a misrepresentation of their experiences. It is crucial to acknowledge and celebrate the diverse narratives that exist within the Black female experience to fully grasp their contributions to history. Um, so also last week, what we also did was I actually did a video. I don't know if I did the video with you guys or did I do the video on my Empower Her talk show because we're all on the same book now. Um, and I in chapter 1, and I didn't say this earlier, but in chapter 1, they talked about Ida B. Wells, which I think I want to bring that up, and I think I want to play that video if I didn't. They brought up Ida B. Wells and Sojourner Truth at that time. So they talked about how, matter of fact, you know what? I just want you guys to watch it. Let me do this. Let's watch that because I don't know if I did this on. I don't know if I did this on what's the name? Let's see. Hold up here. What? Okay. Hold up here, you guys. Give me a second here. Yeah. All right now. Okay. So we talked. Oh, here we go. Black women's suffrage. Let's see. I think it's this one I showed. So I'm going to. Okay. So I'm going to share with you the video I watched. We watched over on my other show um, with you, so that you can see what we were talking about in chapter 1 about how we fit in the grand scheme of things, and how we were treated when we were fighting for voters' rights for women. And you'll see how there was a sense of them not wanting us to be there. So they allowed us to march in the parade, so to speak, but they wanted us in the back as long as, even though we were so pivotal about our how we were able to move mountains, let me say it to you like that, and how significant we were in the movement for voters' right for women. But they didn't want us in the front. So let's let's do this. Let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah, I think this is it. Okay.
Who contributed to the country that we live in today. That telling only a part of our history, telling only a part of our narrative makes it seem as if there are only one group of people, there's only one type of person. We all know that that's not true.
When students learn about women's suffrage in school, they often learn about Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony, the so-called mothers of the movement. And they are taught that it all started with a meeting in Seneca Falls, New York in 1848.
Oftentimes, the story of the Seneca Falls meeting is told as a kind of origin story, as the beginning of a movement for women's rights and ultimately a movement for women's suffrage. And yet, when we realize the meeting is some 300 people, principally white middle-class women in a relatively remote upstate New York village, that is a hint that we probably need to look at some other places to get a fuller story.
For African-American women who'd been organizing inside churches and other places since the 20s and 30s, this was not a particularly important moment, nor was it a meeting they would have attended, nor were the demands that they made particularly germane to the lives of women living under the twin oppressive forces of racism and sexism.
Black women are excluded at Seneca Falls because they're not really invited.
2 years later, a much bigger national convention on women's rights takes place.
The 1850 meeting in Worcester, Massachusetts, Stanton and Anthony aren't even there. It was the first national women's rights meeting. So in some ways, that's really cohering activism that's taking place around the country in a way that Seneca Falls was just a local impromptu convention.
One of the women who spoke there was famed abolitionist Sojourner Truth.
Sojourner Truth will emerge later in the women's movement as an important speaker on women's rights. She will also emerge as an abolitionist. By 1850, Sojourner Truth is very much a presence in women's rights circles, really shaping the debates, but she didn't begin at Seneca Falls at all.
So with so much activity happening in women's rights in the mid-19th century, why did Seneca Falls, a small meeting with only white women attending, become one of the most talked about in history?
Elizabeth Cady Stanton, who was at the Seneca Falls meeting and was one of the organizers, and Susan Anthony, well, these two, along with some allies, begin to write the history of women's suffrage. And when they do, not surprisingly, perhaps, they privilege their own experiences and they settle on Seneca Falls as their origin story.
Stanton and Anthony are dealing with a world where emancipation is the new reality. And many people are saying to women, Black men's right to vote must happen now for reasons of freed people's safety. And Stanton and Anthony will say, no, women's suffrage should come first. And they are unusual in the Women's Rights Coalition that they demand this. They're staunchly opposed to Black men voting before white women in unspeakably racist terms. And our movement, they say repeatedly, is the most important movement for human rights ever inaugurated. And they're undermining, really, the memory of abolition and the memory of emancipation in that process.
It's no surprise, then, that in a history written by primarily white women, there are many Black voting rights activists we don't learn about.
I think the world of Ida B. Wells and her activism. She's a Black woman who owned 2 newspapers, and she was an anti-lynching activist, and she was a founder of the Alpha Suffrage Club, which was Chicago's first Black suffrage organization. While they fought and advocated for the right to vote for all women, they were mistreated within the larger suffrage movement because of their race.
You, just you, building your app on Base 44. Describe it.
The suffrage march in 1913, when Ida B. Wells showed up with the Illinois delegation, and Alice Paul, who was a popular suffragette at the time, instructed them to walk to the back of the crowd. And while many of the Black women who showed up that day did, Ida B. Wells refused.
The women who pushed the story of Seneca Falls died before the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920. But the legacy of excluding Black women persisted.
Susan B. Anthony and her followers have won for women the right to vote.
It's easy to think of the story of women's suffrage as a kind of fully emancipatory and celebratory story that's, just necessarily progressive.
And in the following November, the ladies appeared at the polls on Election Day by the hundreds of thousands. The emancipation of womanhood in the United States was now complete.
The 19th Amendment does not invest anybody with the right to vote. And we don't spend nearly enough time thinking about the language of the amendment, which is really key, saying you may not discriminate in voting on the basis of sex. It does not say women have a right to vote, which actually does not exist. For many white women, clearing the obstacle of sex was sufficient to get them voting access.
When the 19th Amendment is adopted, the open secret is that too many millions of African American women in this country will not be able to vote because the amendment doesn't do anything to override the segregationist laws, the Jim Crow laws in the South, like poll taxes and literacy tests that are going to be imposed on Black women, such that they won't be able to vote even after the 19th Amendment.
We don't realize the ways in which the white suffrage movement threw women of color under the bus, allowed their continued disenfranchisement to go ahead, allowed their brutalization of their bodies to go ahead and say nothing. We lose track of the fact that lots of other women are not emancipated in this story, that those women's rights are sacrificed.
After 1920, African American women have to kind of look up from the 19th Amendment to not only recognize that they are still disenfranchised, they have to look up to answer the question, so how are we going to win a right to vote? That is the moment for the building of a new movement for voting rights, one that will take Black women and men until 1965 and passage of the Voting Rights Act.
So you don't win the right to vote, and then that's just it. Throughout the course of history, for every expansion of voting rights, we have a backlash that seeks to make it more difficult for people to vote, that seeks to shrink the electorate and shrink the number of people that participate in our democracy.
One recent and significant backlash happened in 2013 when the Supreme Court case Shelby County v. Holder removed some of the protections of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Even as we celebrate the centennial of the 19th Amendment, activists like Nse Ufa remind us that voting rights remain threatened in many places.
Georgians have an opportunity to save our democracy.
The state of Georgia has closed over 10% of their polling locations. Voting rights advocates have witnessed nearly 2 million people purged from Georgia's voter roll.
I'm urging my supporters to go into the polls and watch very carefully.
Black voters are subject to intimidation. New Americans are subject to intimidation.
The 2020 election is the most recent example of the organizing power of Black women, as Ufa and others are being credited with turning Georgia blue for the first time in 28 years.
I think that it's harmful that we only learn about white suffragists because it doesn't tell the full story of how we won. And if we're going to be able to fight future oppressions, knowing the real story about how our ancestors looked oppression in the face and then defeated it helps us as we build towards the communities that we want to live in.
That's the sound of an American.
Okay, so that is actually the other video that we watched, that I watched on the other show. Okay, so as you can see, I I showed you that because it was part of the book, and how our history is always, our contribution to history is always silenced. It's always put in a box and put away. Um, Even though we resoundingly just, did the job, we did the work. I keep thinking about Stacey Abrams. Hey, Miss Latasha. I keep thinking about Stacey Abrams. Stacey Abrams was pivotal, played a, I can't even say the word pivotal. Here it goes. She was very pivotal in turning Georgia blue. That was Stacey Abrams. And hold up, let me see. Give me a second. Okay, good evening. Okay, hi. Let me come back over. Okay, you must can't talk. Okay. So I don't want to say she single-handedly, but she made Georgia so mad. She made Georgia so hot. Okay, got you. Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's all right. All right. She made Georgia so mad because she turned Georgia blue. Georgia was red, but she turned it blue. This is why I always encourage you guys. Look at who you are. Your power is a threat to so many other people, so many other races of people. And as long as they can continue to make us feel small and insignificant, that's when you burst out. Be loud and proud of who you are and all your accomplishments. Never, ever, ever let anybody make you feel, I don't care if they are the same color we are, because we do that to each other. Never, ever let anybody try to put you in a box. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead and get on chapter 2. We left off on we already talked about the historical perspectives of Black women, so we're on the next page. So it says here, moreover, the impact of colonialism and systemic racism cannot be understated in the context of Black women's history. These forces have shaped their societal roles and have often relegated them to the margins of historical discourse. By understanding the historical context in which Black women have navigated their lives, we can begin to appreciate the complexities of their experiences. That's why I'm going to tell you my favorite person of all time for me. It's Fannie Lou Hamer. That is my favorite. That is my shero. And I don't like to put everybody on there, but Miss Fannie Lou, that's my lady. I would have loved to meet her. I would love to sit down and talk with her. If she was alive when I was alive, I don't think when she passed away, I don't even think I was born. I might have been, but I was a little girl. So I would have probably never crossed paths with her because she was in the South and I was born in the North, but I would have loved to meet her. This understanding fosters a deeper awareness of how historical miscalculations affect contemporary deceptions, perceptions, and narratives surrounding Black women today. As we delve deeper into the historical perspectives of Black women, we must also confront the ways in which these narratives have been constructed and the power dynamics at play. Now, saying that, and this is why it's so important when we think about how white women have played a part in our history, how white women also didn't think we were significant, even though, you can play along with us, but you just use your toys. Don't use our toys. You just use your toys. And I really think that there was a sense of jealousy because I guaranteed you Ida B. Wells and Sojourner Truth was making waves all over the North, because I think at the time they were up north. She was in Chicago. And Ida B. Wells alone was a very powerful young lady. Okay, she had her own newspaper. She was the one who was keeping up with all of the hangings and lynchings that were happening. She literally did reports, she did articles about the hangings, that was the lynchings that was happening all across America. And they turned around and burnt down her newspaper, her office, because she became, and then this is what another part, this is in the other video. In the other video, what came up in that video was the ideal that she was so bold and so confrontational and so outspoken that even the NAACP or any other Black coalition or organization didn't want to deal with her because she was just that confrontational. She was about her people. And lots of times they want you to play along to get along. And sometimes we ain't built like that. All of us ain't built like that. And she was one of those women who wasn't. So I will actually add her to my Shiro list too, because she didn't play. And that's what she created: schools. She created that organization that had over 1,000 women in it. So she was still doing the work. And let me say this too. Do not, if you decide to do something, don't just stick to that one thing. Okay? This lady was doing, and that's why I think too, it's in me that I do many different things, because this is what's in us. We're not one-dimensional people. Women, Black women are not, we don't know how to be one-dimensional. See, that's the point. I don't know why we force ourselves into that, because that's not who we are. Because you guys got to remember, if you look at how our ancestors were, they played a lot of roles, okay? They played a lot of roles. So because they played those roles became of who they are. So they might be a teacher over here, they could be a preacher over here, they could be a cook over here. We were able to do everything. It wasn't not too many things that we didn't know how to do. So that's the reason why it's all right if you can do more than one thing. There's nothing wrong with being able to do more than one thing. You know, be proud that you have those skills, and they are all gifts that was given to you. So use them all. Now, sometimes I get confused with mine. I try to keep them organized, but I get confused. I'm admitting that. But at the end of the day, I can do them, and so can you. So keep that in mind. Don't feel so feeling like you're not doing enough when you have all these different talents that you were gifted with. Use your talents. If you don't use your talents, you're going to forget how to do it. And that's what we call wasting talent. So she was able to do a whole bunch of different things. In most women, if you look at the way they historically talk about Black women, a lot of them had that, could do everything. The idea that she started schools. As a matter of fact, I think it's a high school named after her that she started. So she was not only a journalist, she owned a newspaper, and then she owned a school. She created a school. So that's why I said, don't get stuck in one thing. Look at what you know how to do very well and use that. Help somebody with it. I'm not saying go out there and stand on the stage of 1,000 people and stuff, hundreds of thousands of people. I'm saying use what you have. Use your experience and work it. It's yours, nobody else. And those are the things people can never take from you. They can try to copy you, but they can never take it from you. It's yours. So keep that in mind. So, in conclusion, the historical perspective on Black women reveal a rich and multifaceted narrative that is essential for understanding their place in society today. Now, by embracing intersectionality and acknowledging the miscalculations that have plagued historical narratives, we can begin to appreciate the full spectrum of Black women's I can't even say the word, Black women's experiences. This subchapter serves as a call to action for Black women to engage with their histories actively and to advocate for more inclusive understanding of the past. By doing so, we not only honor the legacies of those who came before us, but also empower future generations to continue the struggle for equity and justice. Cultural influences and identity formation. Cultural influences play a significant role in the formation of identity among Black women, shaping how they perceive themselves, yes, and how they are perceived by society. From the narratives passed down through generations to the contemporary media representation, these influences contribute to a complex tapestry of identity that reflects both the resilience and struggle. Each cultural touchpoint, whether it be music, literature, or visual arts, provides a platform for Black women to express their realities, reclaim their narratives, and challenge miscalculations that have historically overshadowed their contributions. Yes, intersectionality is crucial in understanding the multifaceted experiences of Black women as it encompasses the overlapping social identities that inform their lives. Factors such as race, gender, class, and sexuality intersect to create a unique challenge and opportunities. By recognizing these intersections, Black women can better navigate the societal frameworks that often seek to confine them, put them in a box, allowing for a more nuanced understanding of their identity formation. This recognition empowers them to engage with their cultural heritage while simultaneously critiquing the dominant narratives that have sought to marginalize their voices. The misrepresentation of Black women in historical narratives have often resulted in a distorted understanding of their roles and contributions, right? So, by analyzing their miscalculations, it becomes evidence that the stories told about Black women have been shaped by those in power, often stripping away their agency. It is essential for Black women to reclaim these narratives, acknowledging their histories and contributions, and ensuring that the future generations are aware of their rightful place in history. This reclamation is not just as an act of resistance, it is a vital step in the ongoing journey towards self-definition and empowerment. And this is why we have to never allow somebody to tell our story. Never allow someone else to tell your story. Never allow somebody to sit down and try to pick you apart to fit the narrative that they want. Because that's what's happened. Excuse me, as us as women, as us as Black people in general, we had someone make an assumption that Black people are more inferior to white people. That's where it started. I forgot what that I think he was a scientist or something. But a white guy made that whole concept that we were inferior to them. And that's never been the story. And every time anybody would say that, and this is why the culture feels that way about us, because it was told by somebody from history back in the day that said that Black people are inferior to white people. And look where we're at now. And that's why our story, her story, is more important than what anybody else thinks. Our experiences are more important than anybody else thinks. They're significant. And no matter how much they want to marginalize us, how much they want to take us out of the picture, you know, when you take a picture and you have an ex-boyfriend in that picture and you cut the picture out and it's just you in there smiling, that's what they would love to do to us. Cut us out. But we're louder, we're bolder. We stand on the front lines. We don't stand in the back. And I think because we're so out there, it's intimidating to some women, because a lot of women can't do what we do. They can't. They're not built like we are. Because you got to remember, during slavery, most white women were frail. They couldn't do all the things that we were doing. They couldn't go drop a baby while they're picking cotton, somebody else will take the midwife or take the baby back and get the baby washed up and get it ready while you're still out there picking cotton. They couldn't do that. That's why they used black women to gauge pain. Remember the doctor who was working on black women, slave girls, to figure out how they could fix what was going on with the white woman because the white woman couldn't handle the pain. Remember that? So they're not built like we are. They don't have that resilience. They don't have that bounce back as we do. So they were very jealous. And I really believe during the suffrage movement, I believe Ida B. Wells and Sojourner Truth were so loud, everybody was paying attention to them. And probably was taking the attention off of Susan B. Anthony and that other lady. And they didn't like that. So when they had the big, huge parade, they tried to force them to walk in the back. So instead of them walking in the back, she walked up to the front and walked in the front with everybody else. That's what you do. You're not going to silence me. I'm going to show you. Yeah, it was black women along in this movement too. I'm just saying. So, cultural influences also intersect with the digital age, where social media platforms provide new avenues of expression and identity formation. Black women are utilizing these platforms to share their stories, challenge stereotypes, and build communities that celebrate their diverse experiences. This digital activism allows for immediate feedback and connection, fostering a sense of solidarity that transcends geographical barriers as they navigate these spaces. Black women are redefining what it means to be seen and heard in a world that often attempts to silence us. Now, let me also share with you, and give me a second. And this is going to be from an excerpt from my book, He Wants to Be Called King by Any Means Necessary, The Chaos and Disruption of the American Dream. Now, in I think this was like the last chapter. Let me see if it's the last chapter. Give me a second here, because I think this is important when we talk about the African American woman. Give me 1 second here. I didn't have this prepared, but it came to my mind as I was reading that. Real quick here. Let's make sure I got the right one. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys. Give me a second. Give me a second. I don't want to. I just want to make sure I get the right one. Make sure. Let's see here. Yeah, here we go. I think this is. Yeah, here we go. So in this book, which is actually the last chapter, chapter 18. Okay. It says here, she was always there at the front of the march, behind the scenes of revolutions, holding the clipboard and the baby, cooking the food and drafting the demands. But history often forgot her name. America has always relied on women, especially women of color, to do the heavy lifting. And it's time we tell the truth, not just about how they lead, but how the world made it harder than it ever had to be. The backbone no one talks about. From the cotton fields to the boardrooms, from organizing voter drives to running family households, women have held this nation together, even when it never returned the favor. Invisible labor, domestic work, caregiving, emotional support, and community organizing, all unpaid and underpaid, yet vital. Leadership in the shadows. Black women, indigenous matriarchs, Latinas, and Asian women have led movements but rarely got the credit. Rosa Parks wasn't tired, she was trained. Fannie Lou Hamer wasn't just brave, she was strategic. Silent voices. Too often when women speak up, they've labeled angry, difficult, or emotional. Yet without their voice, truth stays buried. She was never behind, always ahead. They just refuse to follow. It's not just about who's left out of the story, it's about the harm that comes from being unseen. Medical neglect. Black women are 3 times more likely to die in childbirth. Pain goes untreated, bodies go unprotected. Workplace injustice. The wage gap is wider for women of color. Sexual harassment is rampant. Leadership opportunities are gatekept by fragile egos. Political violence. Women in politics receive death threats, doxing, and harassment just for daring to lead. The cost of power is often personal. When women rise, they don't rise alone. Despite the barriers, women have always built networks of resistance and care. They don't just fight for themselves, they fight for everyone. Mothers in movements, from Mamie Till to Tamika Mallory, from Dolores Huerta to Tarara Burke, mothers have sparked national reckonings. The feminist divide. Mainstream feminism often erased Black, brown, indigenous, trans, and disabled women. But intersectional feminism is changing that narrative. Now, let me correct anything. I am not pushing any feminism type stuff. Okay? I am not pushing that narrative. I want you to know that. Sisterhood as strategy, mutual aid networks, kitchen table organizing, healing circles. These are not fringed acts, they are revolutionary models. Women are no longer asking permission, they're taking the mic, the ballot, the gavel, and redefining what power looks like. I'm going to stop right there. So I just want you to know, because sometimes people are like, oh, you're pushing feminism. I am not. Okay? They're not to do that. That's not what I do. Okay? Ultimately, the journey of identity formation for Black women is one of the resilience, creativity, empowerment. By understanding the cultural influences that shape their identities and recognizing the miscalculation in historical narratives, Black women can forge a path towards a more inclusive and honest representation of their stories. This journey is not solely about reclaiming the past, it is about creating a future where Black women's voices are integral to the broader narrative of humanity, ensuring that their contributions and identities are celebrated and recognized. So let me come back over here to you guys. All right. This game reminds me. Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Let's go back down here. Okay. So let's see what you said. Latasha, you can't talk? She's still there. Yeah, it happens all. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, you have to step up and say who you are and stand in yourself. Stand in who you are. Don't allow anybody to create you. You're already here. Your experience has already happened. And your story is just as important as someone else's story. And that's something you have to understand. Your story is just as important as the next person. And for me, this goes back to a time back in 2014, me and my stories. Okay, I'm older now, so I can tell my stories. You're either going to listen or you're not. But anyway, at the time, I was in this program. And this program was in Houston, and it was at the VA hospital. And I'm sitting in a room full of women who were just like me, women who have experienced some things that I had experienced. Yeah, and that's all right. It's not about you being liked. I don't care if nobody ever likes me. I promise you guys, I don't get caught up on that. When I was a people pleaser, it was very important to worry about people liking me. But when I start becoming where I got out of that, I don't do that anymore. I don't care. So I'm in a room full of women, right, who had experienced some things that I experienced in our military, during our military life. And so I'm sitting there listening to everybody's story, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this really happened to these young ladies. Now I start feeling bad. And the reason why I felt bad was because I'm thinking I have the better story, right? What happened to me was worse than what happened to you. In reality, their stories were much more deeper and darker than what happened to me. And sitting there listening to them talk about it was like, oh my God, the reality. The reality is their story is deeper. So I no longer felt sorry for myself. I start feeling sorry for them. And I don't know how they just made me the mother of the group after, because we had been together for a while. So they kind of made me the mother of the group. I think it's more of, I ask a lot of questions, and you got to make it make sense to me for me to understand certain things, because in that whole dynamic of what they were going through or what happened to them and how they were telling their story, they were also talking about what happened afterwards, how their life turned out after their military service. And so that's where a lot of my questions came from, and how they were reacting to things, and how they were, the life started lifing on them, and how did they respond to it. So that's where a lot of my questions came from, because I already knew mine. So it was no need for me to ask myself what was going on with me. I knew how my life turned out. I didn't know how their lives turned out after they start telling their story. And that was important to me to know. And so we wound up having a very good kind of relationship going on. So we kind of, when it was time for graduation, because it was a program, we were helping each other get ready for graduation. It was so sweet. It was very nice. And those some wonderful women. I don't know where each and every one of them was on my, well, 3 of them used to be on my page, on my Facebook page, but I don't see them on there anymore. But we got together, and we had one common thing that we took from this whole thing is we experienced the darkness of being in the military in so many different ways. And that was the whole brunt of us doing this program, the dark side of being in the military. And that's what I'm gonna call it, the dark side of being in the military. And so we grew from that. But I thought my story was better than theirs. I thought my heartache and everything I went through was worse until I heard their stories. And that's why I love to hear people tell their stories. That's why I'm a big advocate of listening to people tell their stories and being open, because that's the hardest thing to do, is put yourself in a position where you're vulnerable to strangers, because that's basically what we were. We were strangers, but we became, during the program, we became close. So that came to mind when I think about that. Okay, so their resilience and creativity not only challenges the status quo, but also inspire future generations to continue to fight for equality and justice. So, it is essential to acknowledge their efforts and include their voices in the broader narrative of history to provide an accurate representation of societal progress. Throughout history, Black women have been at the forefront of social movements. I just read that in my book, okay? Um, Advocating for change and justice. Figures such as Sojourner Truth and Ida B. Wells exemplified the intersection of race and, did I just read that? Hold up. Let me see. No, I thought I read that already. I think it just repeats at the right here. Black women have been the forefront of social movements. Social movements advocating for change and justice. Figures such as Sojourner Truth and Ida B. Wells exemplified the intersection of race and gender in their activism, addressing both the injustices faced by Black women, Black people, and the specific challenges encountered by women. Their legacies reminds us of the importance of intersectionality in understanding the multifaceted experience of Black women and the contributions they have made to society. By recognizing these contributions, we can honor their sacrifices and achievements more comprehensively. In various fields, from literature to politics, Black women have made significant strides, that have often gone unrecognized. Writers like Zora Neale Hurston and Toni Morrison have shaped the literary canon, offering unique perspectives that highlight the richness of Black female experiences. In politics, leaders such as Kamala Harris and Stacey Abrams are not only breaking barriers, but also paving the way for future generations of Black women to follow in their footsteps. Their achievements serve as a testament to the power and influence of Black women in shaping societal norms and policies. Education has also been a key area where Black women have excelled and made impactful contributions. Pioneers such as Mary McLeod Bethune, and Claudette Colvin have fought tirelessly for educational access and reform. Anybody know who Claudette Colvin is? I think she is the lady who was the first person who actually got would not give her seat up on the bus before Rosa Parks. I think that's who that was. Their work has significantly improved opportunities for Black women and girls, enabling them to aspire to and achieve greatness. Highlighting their achievements in education is crucial to understanding the broader context of Black women's contributions to society and their role in shaping future leaders. As we reflect on the contributions of Black women to society, it is vital to create spaces for their stories to be told and celebrated. By amplifying their voices and acknowledging their impact, we not only correct historical miscalculations, but we also empower current and future generations of Black women. This recognition fosters a sense of community and solidarity, reminding us that the journey towards equality is a shared responsibility, one that requires a collective effort of all individuals committed to justice. Miscalculation historical narrative. We'll be going over chapter 3 on our next visit, which will be Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. All right. So that was a chapter 2. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Anybody want to talk about anything? And tell me what you got out of that. I would love to hear what you got out of. I hope my reading wasn't too fumbly, and I hope you understood what I was saying. So anybody? Latasha, you have anything you want to say? Let's see if she can. She probably can't. You still there, Latasha? Miss Kathy, you have anything for me? Wait. So, so in the process, okay, let's see what you say. Take your voice. That's right, sweetie. 100%. 100%. Never let anyone take your voice. Never. And you, Kathy, you've got to make one of our first Mondays. You've got to make one of our first Mondays because I want to give you this book so you can have time to kind of go over it. So the next one we'll have is in May, and then I have the book already done by then, hopefully. Yeah, I know we would. So that you can make one. If you can make a first Monday, then I always try to give you the worksheets out or give some type of thing you can work with during that time. I was supposed to do a worksheet for first Monday, and I didn't do one because I decided to go ahead and give away the book instead. I know, and that's all right. Look, you guys, I am not good with getting out information when I need to. I am very bad with that. I don't know why. Now, if it was somebody else's stuff, I can get it out. But when it comes to my stuff, I have issues with it. But that's all right. That's all right. I think I sent you an invite. I try to send everybody that usually comes in here an invite to anything that we usually do over here. But that's all right. It's not.
I received mine. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So you got anything you want to say about this chapter? Because we already went over chapter 1. Did you see the video?
I'm just listening. I can't really speak right now. We're at the gas station.
Oh, okay.
Everybody walked in the store, so I just took the opportunity to say a word. For real. I mean, I'm serious.
I know you are.
You want to see where I'm at?
No, you don't have to. I believe you. I believe you, sweetie.
Yes, ma'am. I'm just letting you know I'm listening.
Okay.
So, I don't want nobody to think I'm not paying attention. I'm paying attention.
Okay, look, you're not paying attention. And you say, no, I really am. No, but no, really. So let me see what she says. She said, okay, that's all right if you forgot. That's fine, Miss Kathy. I know, Miss Kathy, I know you, the way your schedule is set up, I know you can't make all the time our weekday classes. That's fine. That's not a big deal. But just if you could make just one of our first Mondays, I promise you, it helps you get through the rest of the year. I mean, not the year, but the month, the 30 days, right? 31 days, or how many ever days it is that month. But anyway, so far, what can you? Okay, so you came up with the idea of never let anyone take your voice, right? What else did you get out of even the video we showed? What else did you get out of the video to understand our power, to really see? And I guess for me, I love being Black. Can I say that? I don't care what nobody says. I love being Black. No, I don't care how anybody else feels about their race. I love being Black because we are the most trendsetters. We're cultural trendsetters. People copy off of us. Okay? We said, I do not yet. Yes, that's right. That's right. Exactly. Multifaceted. Be that person, having more than one thing, using all your talents. I love being Black because everybody wants to be like us. And that should always put you in a position of power, regardless of what nobody says. In a position of power is because everybody wants to be like the Black woman. And no matter how much they try to deny it, oh no, that's not true. They don't want the statistics and the way the culture is set up. They want to be like us. Okay? They definitely want to be like us. Yes. Yes, we are very fascinating. Because you know why we're so fascinating? Because they don't understand how in the world do we keep moving? Why do we keep bouncing back? You know what they used to say? Black people are like roaches. You kill 5 of them, 20 of them are going to come back. You just can't get rid of us, no matter what you try to do. And if you notice in America, America is starting to act like other countries who don't want us there. We just saw about the voter rights suppression, all the things that they're trying to do to stop us from voting, because our numbers matter. The reason why they're trying to stop us from voting, because our numbers matter. We matter. No matter how much they say we don't, we matter. We matter on so many levels. We out-educate them in their own education system. Let me say that again. We out-educate them in their own education system that they set up, that they didn't want us to have part of. We come up and we out-educate them. That's crazy. We could even in politics, we could out-politic them if they wouldn't put barriers in the way. Okay? If they would not create barriers in the way, that we could out-politic them. And they know this. We out-lawyer them, but they created the laws. So when you look at that, let me see. I just spoke about the yes, exactly. I was telling another female that we are strong, and when we are not, and is when we're feeling sorry for ourselves. That's right. And it's, let me say this, because the authenticity of who you are is recognizing that there are times of weaknesses that we have to be able to claim. We have to claim our weaknesses. We're entitled to that. We're entitled to be upset. We're entitled to be mad. We're entitled to be angry. We're even entitled to be depressed and don't feel good and don't want to be bothered with anybody. We are entitled to all those things. Those are our human ways. Those are our human traits, are part of our personality. But we are not supposed to stay in those spaces for very long, because once you start staying in those spaces long, you're creating a person that you don't even want to deal with. After a while, you just don't want to deal with. So what I'm saying to you is, temporarily be upset. Temporarily go through your depression. Do not stay in those spaces, because that's not where you belong. You're better than that. You're bigger than that. You're smarter than that. Okay? You're more intelligent than that to stay in those spaces that are not making or creating a productivity or a productive side of you. Okay? And I'm not saying you have to work. I'm not saying that. I'm saying when you are productive within yourself, you feel better. When you're doing things, when you're achieving things for you, not for anybody else, for you, you're a better person. But do not get upset when you get upset with yourself. Just don't stay there. That's a temporary place you'd go. Very temporary. Do not get caught. Don't sit yourself in that spot. And I talk, I know you guys probably like, golly, she talks about herself all the time, because I don't know anybody else. I don't know y'all personally and all the things that your experiences you've been through. So I only know mine. So I have been feeling this way for the last couple of days. So I did a reading on myself. And one of the cards that came out was the grief card, which is the 5 of Cups. So I know inside I'm grieving something, and it was keeping me down. And then I said, no, I can't stay like that. So I got up, got dressed, and left the house today, because I have days when I don't leave the house. I put it in my mind to do it, and I don't do it. Not being motivated, don't feel like doing anything. All these crazy ideas in my head, and I can't do anything. And then I said, no, you know what? I got to stop that. So I got up and left the house today. Because I probably needed some sunshine, which I have sunshine over my yard. I go out on the front porch and sit, but I have my gown, what they call it, your muumuu gown on, and I'm not feeling myself. So today I said, I got to get up. I was supposed to do it yesterday, but I got up today. And I felt so much better. So I'm saying don't stay in that mindset of you not feeling good about yourself. And let me tell you something. Whenever you do feel down on yourself, go back to all the things that you achieved in your life. And I want to say something to you, Kathy, because this just came to me. And you know, me and Kathy, Miss Latasha, me and Kathy have, let me see how, oh, I'm going to tell you how I met Kathy. We had did a drawing on the Cameron B. Frank show. And we had tickets to the, I think it was the Black Nutmeg, Nutcracker. I can't remember what year that was, Kathy. But she won the tickets to it. That's how me and her met. Yeah, we go way back. So, and she's at a point where she's already had almost 25 years on a job that she's no longer at right now, right? And I want her to take that little thing, and it might be little to her, but take that little thing of 23 years. The Cajun Nutcracker, that's what it was called. Take your 23 years. 23 years. That is an achievement in itself. Some people, marriages don't last that long. But you were able to work at a job and be proficient at that job and enjoy that job for that long. That is an accomplishment. So whenever you get in the mood to get down, think about what you have already up under your belt. You have a lot to be proud of. Okay? Don't ever get it twisted. So whenever you get down, think about that. That's one thing that you can truly put, how they say, hang your hat on. Because a lot of people couldn't have done what you did. And working in the environment that you were working in is another thing that you have to be proud of. Because we already know it wasn't a lot of us in that position or in that office. So that's another part of what you have already accomplished in your life. So when you get down, think about the things that you have achieved. Latasha, same with you. Think about all the things that you've done when you get down. And then it gets you back up to where, wait a minute, I'm sitting around here. Wait a minute, I've climbed a mountain. Who can say they climbed a mountain? I climbed a mountain. I've been out of the country. Who can say that they've been out of the country? I traveled the world. Who can say they did that? I have the experiences. You know, I rode an elephant. Who achieved that? You know, I'm just giving examples of things that you can bring up as far as your accomplishments when you get down on yourself, when you start beating yourself up. Think about all the things that you have done. Okay. My son brought something to my attention and I had totally forgot. And he mentioned it on the show. Back in the day when I was in Kansas, I told you guys I've always done acting. I've always played in plays and all that. Well, I had a great opportunity to become part of the Kansas City Players. This is out of Kansas City, Missouri. I lived in Kansas City, in Kansas, but the Players were out of Missouri. I got a chance to be part of a play group that was known all over Kansas City. And when he brought it up, I was like, I totally forgot about that. And then Nat goes and says, yeah, you played in the Wiz at Peabody. I'm like, Nat, how'd you know I played in the Wiz at Peabody? Because I forgot about that. What I'm trying to get you to, what I'm saying is sometimes you just got to go back and look at the things that you've already done. That's what you got to do. Look at all the things that you've already done. You bought a house. Everybody can't buy a house no matter what they say. Everybody can't buy a house on their own. They always have to have somebody with them. You got a house. You know what I'm saying? My door. Oh, my door. Is it cracked? Hold up, y'all. That's what it is. I was wondering why you can hear my husband on the phone. I was wondering, I said, dog, my door. I'm surprised my dog didn't bust up in here. But anyway, I was do I can hear him so loud? So what I'm saying is, whenever you get to a point where you feel like you're down on yourself, definitely think back on all the things. It's all right to go to your past. If you got to go to your past and get that achievement out, bring it out. Think about what you've already done. And like, damn, man. And I'm sitting around here moping and look at all the stuff that I've accomplished. So think about it from that standpoint. I will never tell any Black woman, don't be depressed. Don't be this. I can't sit here and, oh, be cheerful all the time. No, because I know that's not possible. I know it's not possible. Life won't let us be happy 24/7. It's not built like that, right? So you've got to come to a point where whenever you feel down on yourself, think about the things that you've done so great in your life. Okay? And even sometimes think about the things you failed at. Let me tell you why. Because in those failings, you learned something. And most of the time we do. Whenever you fail at something, you learn something. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes things have to break apart for you to see that there's better opportunities. So don't get upset if you fail at something. And if you do get upset at failing at something, that's all right. Let it stay. Let it come in and let it go out. Everything is temporary. Only you make it permanent by dwelling on it. And that's what you have to do. That's what we as Black women have to do. If you look at through the whole, when I was reading chapter 2, resilience, the word resilience, the real word resilience is used probably throughout the whole book, is because it means we bounce back. You push us up against the wall and we'll bounce right back on you. Okay? Think about it from that end. Okay? That's how you got to look at it. Hold up. Give me a second here. Let's see. Yeah, I came a long ways. That's right. And yes, exactly. 100%. Exactly. Thank you so much. I love you very much. Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Latasha, she says she loves me. I'm just, look, and let me tell y'all something. I don't try to be faking when I do all this.
I love you too.
Oh, I know you do, Latasha, and I love you too. I love both of y'all to death. Okay? I definitely do. I don't fake with this because it's so deep in my spirit. I love to see our Black women win.
Baby, this love can't be faked.
No, I can't. I can't fake
Nobody can make me unlove you.
Oh, that's so sweet. That is so sweet. So the thing is, we just got to keep encouraging each other. We got to keep moving forward. And this is what this is all about. This is why I did this, is because I know it's so many. I've talked to so many women and working in those shelters and working domestic violence and all. I've seen too much. And I feel so sorry for women who cannot come out of those situations and they don't have anybody encouraging them. Because people don't, what I realized when I worked in some of those centers, in the homeless shelters and stuff, the people there that work there, they just work there. They really don't want to interact with you. They really don't want to have anything to do with you. They just want you to do whatever it is that you got to do, okay, and stay out of the way and abide by the rules. The sitting down and having those conversations and being able to release some stuff that's going on, they're not allowed to do that. And to me, I just naturally like to conversate. So I get to learn a lot from them and I can see how they feel about themselves and I can see the self-esteem that they used to have and they don't have it anymore because someone's beat it out of them. So I don't care what nobody tells you from here on out. No matter how many times people want to get mad and bring up the negative part of you, don't even worry about that. You think about all the things that you have already accomplished in your life because there's so many people who did not do that. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Thank you, sweetie. But yeah, so think about it from that standpoint. Whenever anybody wants to come to you and try to minimize you, you know what to do. Just look at them. Okay. and walk away. You don't have to get back and forth with them because there's people out there that's jealous of you. Let me tell you something. You might not have nothing. If you're that person people are jealous because of your energy. Okay. People watch how you interact with other people. They watch how people laugh with you. They watch how people can, the camaraderie you have with other people. Some people don't like you to have that because they can't be you. And that goes for the people this color. Because no matter where we go, we're gonna make somebody laugh, we're gonna make somebody cry. It's the automatic thing we do. Ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. That's how we are. We know how to do that. Everybody don't have that. Everybody don't have that gift to walk into a room and if you have a spirit of talking and getting out and intermingling with people sit back and watch it and wondering why everybody looking at you and talking to you and interacting with you. They want to be you lots of times. It's called destiny swap. That's what they call it. People try to do that. But it's only one you. It's only one Latasha, Kathy. It's one you, one me. Nobody can ever be like us. Because we have.
And you telling the truth about that, because I seen it and I just had to let somebody go because of that exact same reason. Mm-hmm. And it hurt it. It really did. It hurt it. Mm-hmm. But I had to let them go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's all right. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. It's that you're really preserving your peace and your energy. Because it's no longer about them. It's about you. And once you realize that it's about you, and it's not about people saying, oh, you're being selfish. No, it's self-care. We don't guard our energy enough. That's the reason why we keep messing around and being around the same funky people. And I'm saying funky in their spirit, not about their smell. Their funky spirit.
You seen it first. And I had to sit back a minute and analyze this person. Okay. And once I sit back and seen it for myself, it was like, what word I want to use? I was, just really, it really just did something to me. And when my sister came and told me something, I had just waken up, and she came and told me something, and then that's when I said, enough is enough. And I've been friends with this person. She's almost like a sister to me, and I've been friends with this person ever since we were kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't mind my friends doing nothing I do. Yeah. Because, I take it as a compliment.
Exactly.
But when you make fun of me, that's different.
Yeah, that's a whole different ballgame.
That's different. Yeah. I picked up everything and I sit back and I watched it for a few months. Mm-hmm. I watched it for a few months. Mm-hmm. I had my cry about it. I let it go. And she might not get it right now, but she will. And I don't have to tell you what you did wrong because you already know.
Yeah, they know. If they're your friends and they know your personality, they already know what they've done.
And I don't mind sharing anything. I mean, we could wear the same clothes. We could wear the same hairdo. We could do all this together. But when I see you doing this weird stuff, and I see you making fun, now that's different.
Yeah. And sometimes that's how people express their jealousy.
I could see things, and people don't know I could see it, I could just brush it off.
Yeah.
But when I see you do something is designed to hurt me, now that's another story.
Yeah.
When it's designed to hurt, I have to cut you off.
Yeah. You got to come to a point where you got to let them go. You got to let them go.
And it hurts. It hurts, but I'll get over it.
Yeah.
I get over it. I've lost people that mean the world to me. So I'm pretty sure getting over this, I'll get over it.
That's right. You can. And it's sad sometimes, and it can be hurtful. But what I tell you about temporary hurt, move on. You got to move on. It's not being cold hearted or nothing. It's just move on. I can't let this be a burden to me, because then if it becomes a burden to me, it becomes part of who I am. And then I'll never be able to recover, and I'll never be able to move on. And you have to.
And I don't understand because these people can have way more than you.
No, because it's not about that. Remember I said earlier.
Right.
Your energy. You walk in a room.
Baby, I don't think you want to walk in my shoes. Why?
Yeah. But it's not even about walking in your shoes. It's your energy that you exude. Your energy. When people, no matter what you're going through, people can walk up to you and have a conversation. You laugh, you laugh with them, and you make them laugh, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to make them laugh. And people watching you like, oh, wow, they're laughing. I want to see what they're laughing at. Be quiet. Let me hear what they're laughing about. And you're making this person laugh, and you're saying good things to this person. People who have that darkness about them, they don't want to see that. They don't want to see you making other people laugh. It's not about what you have. It's who you are. It's basically who you are. Yeah. They hate my voice. Yeah. It's who you are. There's people who can walk in a room and a light like comes on. You have an aura about you. When you have an aura about you, people gather to you. People come around you. They want to be around you. They want to talk to you. Strangers, you'll be sitting next to somebody you never knew and have a whole long conversation with that person you never met them before. And the people who know you trying to figure out what you're talking about. I'm telling you, our energy is magic. I keep trying to, I don't know why Black folks do not believe that about themselves. They are magic. We are magic. And that's the only way I can describe it. Because why do everybody want to emulate us? Why do every nationality want to be like us? Why? Because we're magic. They say we're not from here. I don't know. But there's something about us that they can't explain. No scientist can explain why we're the way we are. Yeah, you got to learn to bite back. And sometimes, you know what? It's all right to bite back. Sometimes it's all right to bite back, Kathy, if you have to. I'm not telling you restrain yourself in everything you do. If you have to bite back, bite back and move on. Say what you got to say and move on.
I don't like fighting people. I'd rather just walk off from a situation and just let it be that.
She said Natasha, Kathy said they look at her like she an alien, because you probably are. I mean, I'm not saying that being funny. We probably are not from here. Wouldn't that be the most awesome thing to find out?
Babe, I'm gonna wear my tinfoil hat proudly. I'm sorry. I'm gonna wear it all day and all night too. I ain't even studying. For real.
Look, what if we all just stardust? Think about that. What if we were all just Black people, melanated people are just stardust?
Well, I look at it like we are, because we go back to the earth when we perish.
Yeah. And keep moving on, and don't hold that in. Move it on and keep moving, because people ain't gonna always agree with you. People ain't gonna always like you, because that's how people are. If we could, but we've been taught to be naive too. Let me tell you, we've been trained and indoctrinated to be naive about other people. Until when your third eye open, you see everything. And that's a whole nother story. We're gonna talk about that like later down. But when your third eye open, you can pick out people. You know who's real and you know who's not. and you know who's people coming into your space to create havoc, you're going to pick them people out. And you're going to walk away from them people. Whether it's a male, female, doesn't matter. Men destiny swap women too. So it's not just women to women. Men do it too. Men are very jealous of women. They don't want to say it because it's a pride thing and it's an ego thing. But men are just as jealous of women and I'm talking about our real men. I'm not talking about the other type of men. I'm talking about the real men that are jealous of us. And they will deny it to the end, but just watch their action. Action speaks louder than words. So you have competition from male and female because of who we are. And that's why this book right here is so important, that we understand who we are and what we are and our contributions to this so-called history, which is really our story. Okay? Yep. So that's why my energy is off at times, that damn third eye. You're crazy. She said, Latasha, Kathy says, sure do. And that's why my spirit energy is off at times, that damn third eye. Won't you? And it's all right if it's off. It's all right. You'll get it. It'll get right. It takes a lot of training to get that third eye right. Yeah. To pay attention to stuff that's going on. Oh, yeah. You can start reading people's personalities. You can start reading their energy from the get-go and see, this ain't the person I want to be around. When somebody said, y'all should work with this person, we already had encounters with that person. Hell to the no. I'm going to tell you right now, no. I don't go backwards, especially when someone has did something devastating to me. I am not going backwards. Oh, hell no. No. Don't suggest somebody I can work with when you don't know the past history of that situation or my interaction with that person. No, I will never. Nope, I will never give that person another chance. Not to be in my space. And that's what you have to do too. You have to learn to say, once it happens, people are like, well, you can forgive and people redeem themselves. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. Because you know what? One thing you've done to me is you broke the loyalty and you broke the trust. Once you break those two things, I have nothing for you. And knowing my personality, how I am, I really believe in being loyal and I believe in me being able to be trustful. If I can't be those two things to anybody I deal with, I have 3 main friends that we've been friends for years, like over 30 years. Okay. I can trust them and they've never let me down. And I'm saying that we have been through some things together. When things were hard for me, those are the people who stepped in. Those are the people who I can pick up the phone right now and say, hey, I need this. Where you want me to send it? When are you, or say, you want to come here? You and Henry, come on. Let's come on. We got plenty of room. Those are the people I'm saying that I have had friends like that in my life. And I love my sisters. And I love my cousins and everything, but I know who I can truly trust and who I am loyal to. Okay, great. Definitely. I can't wait. So yeah. So think about it from that standpoint. When you have people that you can be loyal to, because loyalty goes both ways. Trust goes both ways. Okay, those go both ways. And I try to be that person to the people that are in my life. I try my best because I know how important that is. And let me tell you something, a recovering people pleaser, very much so is that type of person. And you know what? I think we should do a segment on people pleasing. I don't think I've done that with you guys yet. I think we should do that, a people pleasing segment. So we could talk about recovering from being a people pleaser. Yeah, and because we want to trust, we want to be validated. So we don't always fit in the mold of being disloyal because we don't know how to do that. Not that, I don't want to say we don't know how to do it. It's just not who we are. Because we've always been, whatever you want, I'm here for you. You do this, I'm here. You know, that people pleaser. Yes, yes, yes. No boundaries, right? Yeah. Yes. No
Oh, when
boundaries.
you set those boundaries, they get upset.
Oh, they don't like, don't you? I can't do what?
You
I
become
can't
the villain in a story.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm telling you,
Yes.
they look at you like, who are you now? You think you're better than me?
Yeah, that's the first thing come out their mouth is, you think you're better than me? I don't think I'm better than you. Not at all. You think
I
I'm better.
told them a long time ago, I say, when God touched me and he get finished with me, you ain't gonna like the new upgrade.
Yep, that's and the ideal is that you think you're better. No, you think I'm better than you. That's why you mentioned it.
Yeah. They projecting their negativity onto you. That's how it goes.
How do you think? So how do you, since you worried about me, what do you think about yourself? That's what you have to kind of turn it around. What you think about yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Because see,
That's
lots
it.
of times they can't answer that. Lots of times they cannot answer. How do you feel about yourself? Reverse that psychiatry, because since you're so worried about how I am, what about you? Are you better than you? Because that's what you need to ask them. Because you're so concerned about me being better than you. Are you better than you? It sounds like it's like convoluted. Yeah, no, because you don't have enough standards or you don't have enough confidence in yourself to be concerned about how you see yourself. You're more worried about how you see me.
That's it.
Perception of me. That's not
I like to
important.
tell them, I'm better than what I was. I'm better than what I was. And I'm better than this.
Yeah.
And walk off.
Walk off. Yep. I'm not going there with you. I am not going there with you. And you just sometimes have to do that. And like I said, it's all right. Sometimes you have to get people off of you. You really do. I 100% believe that. I've been in those experiences where you have to get them off of you. When you get them off of you, walk away. Walk away. Once you get them off you, walk away. Don't continue the conversation. I said what I said. I'm out. Now, what they say, how they say it, drop the mic and keep moving. Okay?
Yes,
That's what you
ma'am.
got to do. Well, so you guys, oh Lord, we did almost 2 hours. So we have gotten through chapter 2. Now, what I need to do to y'all is I need to put something together. Now, Miss Kathy, I'm going to send you this ebook because you're going to need it for what I'm going to have y'all do before we meet again on Wednesday. Okay? So y'all going to have some homework for chapters 1 and 2. All right? And I'll get that homework to you guys before Wednesday so we can either do it on the show or you have it done before we come to the show. And remember, on Wednesdays it's 7 o'clock. On Saturdays it's 7:30. I give you 30 more minutes. So
yes, ma'am.
I will be sending you guys a worksheet for chapters 1 and 2. I'm gonna make y'all work right. I'm gonna make y'all work on this one. Because y'all got away last time. Well, y'all had this time I didn't make you do anything. But this time we're gonna do something. So I think I'll probably break it down to 2 chapters at a time. Give y'all some homework to do. I won't make it hard. Just make you write. I want y'all to write because I love reading, writing. And then look. You have to be available so that you can speak to me. Tell me what you wrote. Okay, Miss Kathy, I know you're probably gonna have to put it in the comments since you can't speak. But it doesn't matter. Either way it go, or you can send it to me and I can read it out loud. If you send it to me in the email, once I finish it, okay, I love it. Okay. Send it to me in the email and we can read it on the screen. So that's Wednesday. Y'all got Wednesday, but like I said, I'll get it to you guys, the worksheet to y'all before that. So y'all have the worksheet already done. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And I'm probably, what time is it? It's too early for me to go to bed. I think I'll go sit up front and look at my husband all crazy or watch something on TV or something. You know, when you get old, you don't do nothing but look at each other. Like, okay, it's Saturday. What we going to do? And play with dogs. Okay? That's my life. Anyway, so I shall see you guys later. See you Wednesday night. But prior to that, I will email you guys all a copy of the worksheet for chapters 1 and 2. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. And you guys have a great night. And bye-bye. La 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 la. I should have played one of my. Wait a minute. Hold up. Let's see.